Something significant coming for XRP. The Ripple case got delayed for 5 years. Interesting. Ripple case got delayed for 5 years. Now the Clarity Act keeps getting delayed. And Mark Yusko says maybe something significant is coming. But that wasn't the exact words. That was the interpretation based on the video. So we're going to take a look at that. I also want to talk to you today about fake news. Be very, very, very careful. With AI technology, make sure you use discernment. Your investment strategy should not be based on emotional reaction. All you have to do is look at the titles of my videos, especially on X. People will just read the title. They will not watch the actual content. And some of you are making financial decisions based on stuff that's not even true. So that's why you need a plan. You don't need the next best crypto. You need conviction, you need a plan, you need offense, and you need defense. So let's dive right into the content. Just a reminder, we have our new pattern. We are live on Mondays and Fridays with Coach JV. We also, in a couple weeks, I think March 20th will be the date, we are launching our new live show with our coaches. We're bringing Jackie, Gonzo, Mario, some of our insurance team. Our coaches are going to be coming live into the forefront, and we're going to be getting really, really, really deep. It's Joe Rogan style podcast. We built a new studio over there. So I just want to remind you of that. That'll be Friday around noon. That'll be coming up on March 20th. That is the goal for the launch. And so we'll have 2 live shows with Coach JV, Monday and Friday. And then we'll have a live show with our team on Friday. So we have a lot of people live in the studio. And then we will also have people piped in on the screen up there. So this is what I wanted to show you guys. So the Bitcoin therapist posted this. Does anyone actually own this? SHIT shit. XRP holders are the least intelligent of any crypto investors, and it's not even close. I posted my #1 holding, Warriors Rise. Now, I know he probably reposted this knowing that it's obviously fake, but this is the point, guys. You have to really take a deep breath. One thing you need to understand is there's no influencer on here that has insight. There's nobody going to a TikToker, an influencer on X, an influencer on YouTube, and telling them what's going on behind the scenes. If they are telling them, they're telling them so that false news can get out there. What we have to understand is that, yeah, there's a huge rewiring of our financial system right now. We're not going into the new era with an old system. We're not. So your job is to decide, what are the new payment rails? Okay. What is technology going to look like? What is business going to look like? And that's how we make our decisions. And what we do is we accumulate when it's red, we enter on the way down, we dollar cost average in, and there'll be a moment in time where you get rewarded for your patience. Okay. So just be very, very careful with this type of stuff. I think we are very intelligent people. I think all of us are intelligent that are working to build our families. So I want to show you guys this. I know this has been floating around on the PBD podcast. He's saying he's buying as much XRP as possible, as I am as well. On these dips, I am stacking. I'm actually putting my buys on X. So if you don't follow me on X, please check that out. And anytime the markets are going down, I share with you guys my buys.
Things that they said it's going to do, that all the proponents were together and saying, yeah, you know, it's difficult. It's like, okay, the people have put their trust in it.
Well, let me ask you this. In the last week, have you bought any crypto?
No.
You haven't bought any? Okay, so you haven't taken advantage of the discount that's going on right now?
Before the sun sets today, I'm going to.
Okay, got it. So I just bought a bunch of XRP and Bitcoin yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a bunch when it dropped to whatever the number was in the 80s, high 70s, 80s. And to me, the part about dollar cost averaging is it's so easy to teach, but it's so hard to execute.
Yep. It is the greatest way to get wealthy, guys. Don't chase candles. Don't chase red candles, green candles. When you see X going crazy and losing their shit, that's when you should be buying on the way down. I'll give you an example. And you guys can see this on my X account if you go down. Okay. I literally posted 3 different times the exact buys. So it was at $71,000. I was in the sauna. It dropped. So I bought 2,500. I'm trying to remember in my head. I guess we could look on my X, but I did 2,500 Bitcoin, 2,500 XRP, 1,000 WLFI. and it dropped again. And I think it went down to 68,000. I don't remember the exact numbers. I'll just give you some what I remember in my head. Then I did 2,500 again, XRP, 2,500 Bitcoin, and XRP had dropped down to like 120 or something like that. And then I did WFI. I think it was another 1,000. And don't quote me on these numbers. It's on there. I can't remember exactly what it did. I think I put like close to 17,000 in that day. And then the next one, it went down. XRP went down to 111. And I think I went higher on XRP, went higher on WFI, and I got more Bitcoin and XRP. I talked about that. And then the previous week, I did the same thing. And then throughout the week, what I do is I just dollar cost average every day. I buy Bitcoin, XRP, and WLFI every single day. There's just a little bit that comes out of my account every single day. Every week I buy Solana, and that's my dollar cost average. So I'm just keep accumulating and trying to bring my DCA, my dollar cost average. What that means is, so for example, if your DCA and you came in at $2.70 on XRP, when it dips and it goes down, just calmly buy on the way down. You just want to bring that 270 down. Okay. But at some point, you're going to be an absolute legend for buying XRP at $2.70. You're going to be an absolute legend for buying Bitcoin at $125,000. How you survive this game is no emotion, build outside of cryptocurrency. So we're cash flow heavy and we are defense heavy. So when the markets collapse, we're ready to deploy. It's militant, right? So you may be in the first phase where you're trying to get liquidity, but once you get liquidity, you got to build the ecosystem. So let's continue on. David Sachs, so he is the crypto czar for America. He said, David Sachs already confirmed that we knew crypto just needed clarity. We're close. When the Clarity Act passes, Ripple openly operates with XRP for cross-border payments. This is what this gentleman put, the X-Finance Bull. Legal clarity arrives. Institutions rush in. The dominoes fall. Not if, not when, not if, when.
The main thing that the crypto industry needed was regulatory clarity. If you talk to like all these crypto founders, they all say the same thing, which is just tell us what the rules are. They had experienced 4 years of arbitrary prosecution during the Biden years because and I think it was less Biden and more Elizabeth Warren was kind of setting the agenda, was they just had an extreme antipathy towards crypto. And with, Gary Gensler was at the SEC and he would not say what the rules were. He just prosecuted people. And it was kind of a regulation by enforcement approach. Well, that's really scary to entrepreneurs that, you're going to find out what the rules are when you get indicted. That's hard to comply with and pretty scary. So the whole crypto industry was in the process of moving offshore. And I think our job coming in on that front was just to make the rules clear, to make the rules fair, make them sensible, and make them clear so that everyone knew what they were, and so that they wouldn't, again, be subject to, to arbitrary prosecution, and therefore they would feel comfortable creating their startups in the United States as opposed to going somewhere else. So that's been our agenda with respect to crypto, and I think we've made a lot of progress there. The president recently signed the Genius Act into law, which creates the regulatory framework for stablecoins. We have a bill going through Congress right now. It's already passed the House, and it's now going through the Senate, called the Clarity Act, which will provide the framework for all the other crypto tokens besides stablecoins. I think that's likely to become law in the next few months. Separately, I chaired a presidential working group on digital assets, which produced a pretty thick report on what the crypto rules should be, and which was kind of a cross-functional interagency report. We worked with the SEC, the CFTC, the Treasury Department, all of government basically to produce that report. So I think we're very close to achieving the crypto agenda, which again is to provide that clarity so that the US will be the crypto capital of the planet instead of some other country.
Okay, so here's my opinion on this and what I believe is going to happen. Of course, my opinion, I don't read charts. I'm like, we do Fibonacci. I use Merlin. I'm just a macro microeconomic. Just logically, like we really got to think about this, guys. We went from an anti-crypto presidency to a pro-crypto presidency. The reason why the Genius Act is being delayed, obviously, is because banks aren't ready. The reason why the crypto market is getting freaking smashed is because they want to pry the Bitcoin out of your hands, the Ethereum out of your hands, the Solana out of your hands, and the XRP out of your hands. So they want you to panic sell, they buy it up. And Do I believe we're heading, well, if we're in a bear market, we're going to continue to ladder down, right, to October, which will be Bitcoin's. Now, remember, this is Bitcoin's enemy year. So Bitcoin, this, if you're wanting to accumulate Bitcoin, probably be a great year. I'm super excited about it being Bitcoin's enemy year, because we're probably going to see a rough Bitcoin run. But what I think might happen, of course, this is my own opinion and just based on my logic and running banks before in the past, my knowledge in banking, is that when the Clarity Act gets passed, you're going to start maybe see some decoupling just a little bit of things like XRP that have real world solve. Like Ripple came out, and there's some more custody things where people can actually stake Solana and Ethereum. Ripple's building infrastructure for banks. Okay. And you're probably going to see some like almost decoupling, that because it has real world solve, real utility, right? That's just my opinion. And I'm not giving you price predictions or anything like that, but I do think that XRP is going to have a good year. So we'll listen to Mark Yusko here. He is phenomenal. If you don't follow him, this was posted by, I can't even pronounce that, XF Crypto. It says Mark Yusko says he's watching for potential policy curveball. According to him, XRP activity may be happening quietly behind the scenes. And I agree.
I worry there's a curveball coming, and maybe it's an XRP thing, and he's doing more behind the scenes than I know. I worry that there's a CBDC version coming where they just say, you know what? You can't use Tether, you can't use USDC, and if you don't use the government, we're going to put you in jail. Kind of like the 33 Act with gold.
Okay. So I do agree with him that there's probably something behind the scenes with XRP going on. I do not agree that if he's, I guess there's, obviously this is what they call him, a clip, right? So this is all Coin Daily interviewing Mark Yusko. And I don't agree that America will have a CBDC. I do not agree with that at all, not under the Trump administration. So I think it's really important too to understand that, like, over the next 3 years, excuse me, and depending on who the new president is, I think it's really important for you to get your shit together, because so you got to really, really lock in, man. And that's why we built we are not just crypto. We have a monster ecosystem outside of crypto, and I'm going to explain that to you in just a moment. So let's take a look at the markets here. This is Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. I'm the co-founder and one of the creators of this. We created this to, number one, keep your crypto safe. So this is a crypto aggregator. Okay, if you take a look here, this is all your exchanges in one place. How cool is that? You can see your percentage of holdings. So when I'm traveling on foreign Wi-Fi's, I use Merlin, because if they hack Merlin, they hack data. They can't hack your crypto. It's absolutely beautiful. You can see all your exchanges. The most powerful thing, and guys, in about 2 weeks, so those of you who are struggling, like, hey, I think it's great you have an exit plan strategy, but I don't know how to do Fibonacci. Well, in 2 weeks, I'm going to pull this up right here. Okay, there'll be a spot. Let me close this. There'll be a spot right about here. You're going to click, and guess what? Even a 3-year-old could do it. All you got to do is you're going to drag from we'll show you videos on how to do it. So imagine taking, this is an exact example, but you grab here from the all-time high in the last bull run, and you pull it to the all-time low, hit a button, how many targets you want to do, and it does Fibonacci for you. You don't even have to know how to chart, as we're problem solvers. And so that Fibonacci tool will be built in there. But right now, for the next couple of weeks, if you just go here, how to get started, we have the video, but I would recommend getting your Merlin set up, get ready for it. And then in about 2 weeks, I would say 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to see that tool. So you won't need to know how to do Fibonacci. We built it in for you. You hit it, gives you your targets, and you just go plug your targets in, and then you decide your exit plan. Having an exit strategy is extremely important. So down below in the YouTube content here, or YouTube description, you can get it 30 days for free. Try it before you buy it. That's how confident we are. In my social media platform, click the link. If you're on Twitter, click the link up there, or X, excuse me, and you can try it for 30 days. Just try it out. And if you don't like it, you can just shut it down after 30 days. But I warn you, you're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. Okay, so let's get back to talking about exactly what I do. I'm going to share with you my portfolio. I'm going to be open and transparent with you guys, because that's what this channel is all about. This is not financial advice. Do your own research. I'm just trying to share with you guys what I'm doing so you can measure my success, just like you're able to measure my success from 2020 to 2025, and we nailed it. Okay, so I invented what's called Capital DR. Okay, it is trademark pending. We're just waiting for our number. I trademarked this. Capital DR is a system that I built when I started to see the economic cycles based on Ray Dalio. You look spiritually, physically, financially, the 50-year Jubilee, the 7-year Shemitah, everything's a cycle, guys. So we're about to end a 36-year cycle on February 20th, 2026, where we head into the new era of finance. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, we are moving from centralized systems, okay, financialization over production, and I'll explain that one. It's a little bit deeper, right? Trust systems to trustless systems. What this means is we're moving from a centralized bank to decentralization, financialization over production. We're going back to production, and financialization is when your whole economy is built on debt, right? Where it's just expanding, debt expansion versus production, okay? So we're going back to being productive. We're going back to growing, making America great again. That's hence that, this is all biblical, guys. It's all cyclic. It is predicted. So Trump is putting tariffs out and bringing production in. They're decentralizing. That's why WLFI is my number 3 holding, outside of XRP and Bitcoin. Okay, I do my investments based on cycles. Billionaires use astrology. Millionaires use charts. I didn't say it. I call them cycles. Okay. So for the left brain people that really struggle with that piece, okay, there's a reason why billionaires use astrology. Okay, the 36-year cycle ends on February 20th. All that means is the old system is fading off, the new system is coming in. So your job is to decide and what you believe the new system's going to be. I've decided what I believe the new system's going to be. Am I going to get them all right? I don't know. We'll see. I've done pretty well in my decision making, and I've nailed most of it. I've made some mistakes along the way. The mistakes that I made is trying to get rich quick, chasing meme coins, and not understanding that crypto influencers, when they're promoting the shit out of a token, they're getting paid for it. And I was like, oh, well, I got wrecked. And I finally realized when I became a creator that, yeah, you can make a lot of money promoting tokens. And we've never done it. we will never. We built our own ecosystem, so be very careful. So I built a mature, divine feminine, divine masculine plan that has a container and that flows through the system. So C is cash flow. Cash flow, cash is trash. You need cash flow. So here's exactly what I do. So I created cash flowing businesses, and I have cash flowing dividends. So when I get paid from my active income, which is labor's time is traded for income, which is debt. My income, I take 10% and I put it into dividend stocks. Okay, first 10% goes into make a brother or sister, richest man in Babylon. So now I have income outside of debts and non-negotiables. That's like bills, income, and cash flow coming in. So those are 2 buckets that are paid in debt, which is the US dollar. I transmute that debt that's inflationary, and I move it into A, assets that have fixed supply, that are deflationary, that beat inflation. Okay, you have to decide. My top 3 that are deflationary is XRP, which is deflationary by its utility, fixed supply. Bitcoin, which is deflationary by its utility, fixed supply, 21 million, 100 billion, but it's deflationary by its mechanism and its utility, where it burns every single time a transaction runs across it. So I move my fake money, fiat, into assets that grow over time. It looks like this, but over time it looks like this. Your dollar's going like this, okay? So my top holdings are in A, assets, CA, is XRP, Bitcoin, WLFI, Solana, XLM, HBAR, and VeChain. I have many others I'm going to be consolidating into the top 4. I'm only buying right now, okay? Not financial advice, just being open and transparent. XRP, Bitcoin, WLFI, and Solana. That feels good to me. I'm consolidating, and I'm going to go all in on those 4. That's what I'm doing. Do you, boo-boo, as Jeff says, okay? Next is P, protection. Okay, we don't rubberneck. We don't watch it go up and go down. Hence 10, 10, 20, 25. Hence, about a week ago, your XRP went from $2.70 down to $1.11. So when our crypto goes up or our assets go up the risk pyramid, high risk, high return, we de-risk out using Merlin, and we go down the risk pyramid and we put it into P, the container, protection. That's defense. You don't want your retirement to look like this. That's offense. That's crypto, stocks. Okay. If your whole retirement's in offense, you're going to get wrecked. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. You're trying to time the market for your retirement, and most of you aren't even paying attention. Most of you don't know your retirement number. And most of you have no idea how much you're going to need for retirement. And that's a problem. You should understand you should understand your net worth, what's going in, what's going out. Okay. What's your retirement number? What's your freedom number? Okay. So then we go into defense. That's insurance, cash value life insurance. That's my first bucket I fill. Okay. We have precious metals. Okay. I'm doing silver and copper. Berkshire. I like Berkshire for stability. So that's the container. That's the bottom. Then we have L, leverage. We don't leverage to buy things that make us poor. We leverage on the good side to buy cash flow and assets. Okay. So when everybody comes collapsing down, we calmly leverage from the insurance side and we go back in. Richest man in Babylon. You see how we've done that twice now? We turned our income into 10%, creating a brother or sister. We took profits, we put it into insurance, we leveraged, creating a brother or sister. We're literally taking $1 and converting it into $4. Okay, that's how winning is done. That's what the wealthy do. Money is cheap at the top, it's printed, comes down to the bottom, it's very expensive. You pay interest on it, they earn interest on it. That's it. There's no like magic secret thing, guys. There's a big ass interest symbol. You pay it, they earn it. That's it. It's demystifying everything. I'm taking all the mystery out of this, guys. And then DR is de-risk, de-risk, de-risk. Always be de-risking. Always be. Don't listen to these influencers saying, oh, hold everything and just borrow against it. Do not borrow against your digital assets. You will get wrecked. The market cap is 2.3 trillion right now. NVIDIA is bigger than the whole crypto market. One whale pulls and you're screwed if you're over leveraged. Do not listen to influencers telling you to leverage other people's money. These people selling, ads around leverage. Oh, leverage and borrow to trade. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Do not do it. Do not stack your crypto somewhere and borrow against it to live. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anytime you leverage against an asset, you better be buying something that's going to pay it off as quick as possible. The example that we give is we bought one of our businesses through our Bitcoin. We only did 25% leverage. Okay. So I goes on a DeFi. They give me 75%, 70% of 20%. I was so low in liquidation risk. But I also had money on the sidelines just in case something happens. I could right size that. And we paid it off as quick as humanly possible. And guess what? Right when we borrowed, the market shot down. He did tariffs. Right when we borrowed, he did tariffs. That's an example. We borrowed, he did tariffs. We had so much gap in liquidation, we were good to go. So I have zero debt on the digital asset side. Our debts are on the insurance side, and I have zero personal debt, and my debts are on my business side. You see the trick there? All my debt's on the business side. All my debt produces cash flow or is a tax liability. Okay. On my personal side, I'm completely debt free. On my asset side, completely debt free. Anywhere we have debt, we are making money or earning cash flow. That's how winning is done. You're not going to catch an next best crypto. You're not going to get rich quick. You don't need to jump in and out of cryptos. And, people who keep messaging me this next best thing that they saw, don't message it to me. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. No, it's not the next best thing. You're going to get wrecked. Okay. And if that's what you're doing, you're not following Warren Buffett. God rest Charlie Munger's soul. Charlie Munger, Ray Dalio, Kathy Woods. They're not sitting there chasing the next best Trump token. Trump's not going to make you a millionaire on the specific date coming up. They're lying to you. They're getting paid to promote that stuff, a lot of money, and they don't give a flying shit if you get liquidated. It's real talk now, guys. This is how it is. Influencers get paid a shit load of money to promote tokens. So be very careful. And no, I've never been paid to promote a token ever. Okay. So like I said, real deal. I'm literally putting it out there. I'd encourage you influencers who are watching this, put your buys out there. Put your buys out there. Let's see what you got. So the thing's collapsing down. If you're really have ecosystems built, you should be able to put your buys out there. So if you're out there promoting what you're doing and you're promoting the lifestyle and you're promoting these, then when the market's collapsing, you should be buying as well. So let's put our buys out there. Let's be honest. Let's be open. This is the era of transparency. And after February 2026, everything's coming to light. Love you guys. Warriors. Let's get your shit together. Let's go.